In recent years, the advent of police body cam footage has significantly altered the landscape of law enforcement accountability and public perception. These recordings provide a first-hand look at interactions between officers and citizens, often capturing critical moments that can lead to national debates and polarized opinions. The implications of this technology extend beyond mere transparency. They raise profound questions about justice, race, and the balance between safety and civil liberties. One such incident that garnered widespread attention involved the controversial arrest of a young black man in a suburban neighborhood, as recorded by an officer's body cam. The footage, released to the public shortly after the event, depicted a chaotic encounter that sparked outrage and solidarity, showcasing the complexities surrounding the use of force in policing. As the footage circulated on social media, viewers were quick to dissect the moments leading up to the arrest, with many arguing that the officer's actions were excessive, while others defended the use of force as a necessary response to a perceived threat. This divergence in perspectives highlights the broader societal divisions regarding policing practices and systemic racism. Critics of the police response pointed to the excessive force used during the arrest, emphasizing that the young man posed no immediate threat. The footage revealed moments where the officer escalated the situation rather than de-escalating it, raising questions about training and the decision-making processes of law enforcement. Advocates for police reform seized on this incident to call for comprehensive changes in how officers are trained to handle potentially volatile situations, particularly those involving individuals from marginalized communities. They argued that the footage not only demonstrated a failure to follow de-escalation protocols but also illustrated the need for a deeper understanding of implicit bias and its impact on officer behavior. Proponents of police accountability pushed for legislative reforms that would mandate the review of body cam footage in the aftermath of such incidents, advocating for transparency that holds officers accountable for their actions. On the other hand, some defended the officers' actions, arguing that police face unpredictable situations daily, and the decision to use force can often come down to split-second judgment calls. They posited that the officer's perspective, viewing the situation through the lens of potential danger, justified the force used in that moment. This argument often centers on the notion of officer safety and the challenges of policing in an environment where threats can be real and immediate. Supporters of law enforcement emphasized the need to respect the difficult job that officers undertake and called for more understanding from the public regarding the pressures they face. This perspective, however, often overlooks the systemic issues of police violence and the historical context that informs community responses to policing, especially in communities of color. As the debate raged on social media, a further layer of complexity emerged with the responses from community leaders and activists. Many organized protests, demanding justice for the young man and advocating for broader reforms in policing practices. These protests, often met with a heavy police presence, drew attention to the fraught relationship between law enforcement and the communities they serve. The body cam footage became a rallying point, symbolizing the broader struggle against systemic injustices and the demand for accountability within the criminal justice system. Activists called for changes not only in police training but also in the ways communities engage with law enforcement, urging a shift towards community policing models that prioritize building relationships and trust between officers and residents. The media coverage of the incident also played a significant role in shaping public perception. Different outlets framed the story through various lenses, highlighting particular aspects of the footage that aligned with their narratives. Some outlets focused on the young man's history and character, seeking to humanize him and garner empathy from viewers, while others zeroed in on the officer's perspective, emphasizing the dangers inherent in policing. This selective framing further polarized public opinion, illustrating how media narratives can influence societal views on controversial incidents. Additionally, the role of political figures and influencers cannot be overlooked. Statements made by public officials often reflect broader societal sentiments and can either exacerbate tensions or promote dialogue. Some politicians condemned the use of force as unacceptable, calling for investigations and accountability, while others rallied behind law enforcement, arguing for their support amidst rising crime rates. This dichotomy in responses highlights how the issue of police conduct intersects with political agendas, often leading to more divisive rhetoric rather than fostering constructive conversation around reform. As communities grapple with the implications of body cam footage, the conversation around transparency and accountability continues to evolve. The initial shock and outrage following the release of the footage often give way to deeper discussions about the need for systemic change within policing structures. Advocacy groups increasingly focus on not just the immediate incidents captured on camera but also the larger systemic issues that perpetuate cycles of violence and mistrust. They emphasize the importance of community involvement in reform efforts, arguing that sustainable change can only come from collaboration between law enforcement agencies and the communities they serve. In conclusion, the controversy surrounding police body cam footage encapsulates the complex interplay of accountability, perception, and the urgent need for reform in law enforcement practices. As society continues to confront these challenging issues, the calls for justice and accountability will likely persist, demanding that all stakeholders engage in meaningful dialogue. The aftermath of such incidents serves as a reminder that while body cams can provide transparency, they cannot replace the need for comprehensive reforms that address the root causes of violence and inequity within the criminal justice system. As we move forward, it is imperative to foster a culture of understanding, accountability, and collaboration that seeks to bridge the divides that have long characterized the relationship between law enforcement and the communities they serve.